Hi, I'm Lisa Romanovich McManus, and I'm coming to you live today. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening, depending upon when you're watching this. We are going to discuss today the personality types of the manifestor and the reflector in the integral human design system. Whether you are a manifestor or a reflector, you will find this incredibly valuable because you will have an opportunity throughout your lifetime to connect in with someone who is a manifestor or a reflector, be it a parent, a child, a coworker, a best friend, whatever it may be. So I hope you'll hang in there and take a beautiful deep dive into these two human design personality types. I am also infusing this beautiful time together with Reiki that will support you and energize you throughout your day. Let's take a deep breath. All right, we're ready to dive in. So we'll begin with the manifestor. Manifestors have beautiful strengths of being purely energetic, driven, powerfully influential, and very successful, but they also are sprinkled with a little bit of impulsivity and mystery. Their challenges come in when they can be a little bit quick to anger, kind of getting a little irritable, and mainly they're self-absorbed. And self-absorbed not in a negative way, but in a subconscious way. They don't even realize it. So it makes them very hard. It makes it very hard for them to be a bit of a team player. They fall victim of being impatient and secretive, and they feel quite manipulated if they're not living their strategy. It is the only type in the entire integral human design system of personalities that is pure energy. And being pure energy, their aura just spreads out. And when that spreads, it actually can make the other personality types feel condensed, feel a bit small, if the manifestor is unaware that this happens naturally. They are, in their minds, idea makers and creators. For the Nike little commercial motto, just do it, they are the poster child for that. You are an amazing, amazing, robustly creative type. You are only 9% of the population, which is a beautiful, beautiful, yet small percentage. So most of the world is not designed according to your strategy. You need to be really careful in cases for a burnout rate. You have a unique, huge energy to initiate, and that can sustain you, but you can feel misunderstood, maybe perhaps by others. Because you do things without waiting, this energy makes other people kind of feel uneasy. They have no idea what's coming, and they feel that manifestors are more secretive and actually anxiety provoking. So communication, I would say communication learning is extremely important for the manifestor. They run like a rocket ship, and everyone else is sort of like left in the dust. So it's very important for them to be aware of this and aware of the impact that they can have on other people. And once they live their strategy, they are incredibly efficient, incredibly speedy, and they can really be an important integral part of the community as well as a team. So for strategy-wise, the manifestor needs to inform others ahead of time of their actions. And informing really comes totally naturally for a manifester. Once they do inform, they can serve both themselves and others by just seeing all that the people around them are impacted with, and they are able to know what to expect. And once you know what to expect, no one misunderstands a manifester. So this informing will prevent you from feeling any sense of being manipulated. It is a huge tip to increase your relationships and decrease the resistance to use your strategy of informing that will not stop you, but will just let people know what's going on and what to expect. And that will enhance your amazing creative power. So in essence, it will also help with power struggles, which can be a major issue for a manifester. They feel very frustrated, and they can feel others are just lazy because they're just not keeping up. But in fact, they can't. They don't have all this pure power. So self-care and nurture is also extremely important for the manifester, and helping learn to inform from the very, very beginning. If you have any manifestor kids, that will empower the manifestors to make choices that allow them to stay in their strategy and also be connected to the community as well as connected to their power. And they won't have a sense of impatience, and they won't have a sense of any anger or irritability. So that is beautiful for any manifester, and I hope that that was valuable. So let's just take a breath here. And then we can move on to the reflectors. The reflectors are only 1% of the population. So they are oftentimes, you may go your whole lifetime and not even know a reflector, which is quite interesting. They are deeply in the pockets of the community, though. Their strengths are to be extremely talkative, very passionate, and unique. They're proponents of peace and prosperity, and they actually reflect the health of their community. Reflectors are challenged by very heightened sensitivity, and they're often disappointed. They're disappointed with themselves, and they're disappointed with others. They struggle a lot with consistency because they have no sustainable energy, and they often have trouble staying grounded and being clingy, which is kind of interesting. As all of their 9 centers are undefined, they are highly, intensely sensitive to the conditioning of the environment and moods. But as I will let you know, the aura of the reflector also has a built-in resistance. It is different from the projector in the sense that the reflector has almost a force field that allows them to acknowledge what's going on outside, but not necessarily absorb the suffering. Reflectors in our community need to be honored. They need to be valued by all the other types because they can help other people to make decisions that will improve the welfare of the entire community as a whole. Reflectors themselves can only know truth when they see it reflected in another. So they actually serve as a barometer of the health of the collective. Reflectors can do anything their heart's desires, provided that they wait 28 days of a lunar cycle to make really good decisions. The reflector's strategy is to wait 28 days. The actual changes in their chart throughout the lunar cycle can be very helpful for reflectors. And I'm not very great with astrology, but they have been said to identify that certain parts of their, or times in their cycle, is better for certain activities as well as is better for making decisions. So keep that in mind for yourself. The emotional theme of disappointment is hard to swallow for reflectors. They often feel disappointed in their decisions because they don't wait long enough, and they rush into something, in terms of 28 days of waiting. So the greatest gift you can actually give a reflector is to listen to them. They may not be forthcoming with their own personal stories and their own experience. However, it's very important for them to be listened to, because they can gain clarity about themselves through you. They have no ability to identify, but they can see through you themselves. They are passionate souls with a deep sense of pain and suffering on the planet as a whole, and they can be beacons of joy as they reflect the health of the community and be very reflective energetically. So reflectors, in terms of your being and staying grounded, you need to understand that you have to talk through your decisions with others, and that's vital for you to stay consistent. So a consistent group of friends that you can talk to, bounce your ideas off of, is really, really supportive. Your amazing superpower is your inner authority and this notion of feeling good. So if you feel good, you're in the right place at the right time. If you're feeling off, not a great place for you, as well as you might want to think about changing the friends that you play in the sandbox with. It will support you in your health. They hold the traits, it's interesting, of inconsistency and sensitivity. And they have a load of energetic change from within, so they tend to be inconsistent and volatile. This is hard for them to have a strategy because they almost go where the wind blows, and they tend to sample much more. So often taking a long time for a decision, they feel the pressure of making quicker decisions because no other type has this lunar cycle decision making. So that can lead them to disappointment in both themselves and in others. They are very sensitive and full of the beauty of humankind. They can be impacted by war, by injustice. That can burn out a reflector if they're not taking time for self-care. But they also have this beautiful force field that will help them. So it's very important for the reflector to understand the mindset and find their strategies to cope. I've done some reading, and reflectors have said that emotional freedom techniques called EFT can often support them. You might want to look into that and try that out. I'm not sure, certainly not an authority on that. Many reflectors have trouble sleeping, and they need significant time alone, as well as time with a cherished group of friends. They are not meant to be running and going. They have no sustainable energy, so 9-to-5 jobs and physical labor are not for you if you are a reflector. Reflectors are here to reflect the health of others, and it's funny, they're often unable to see their own health. So it's pretty important for reflectors, if they do become ill, to really connect in to see how another person can help support them. It's often important for them to look at the health of the community, because they may be just simply reflecting that back. Supporting a reflector requires consistency and helping them with the transitions, as they don't adjust to change easily at all, and they can be clingy. You might see this as a reflector being clingy to a friend or to a parent that's close by. Reflectors are themselves robust and radiant and glowing when they live their strategy. As long as you all feel good about the group that you're with and where you are, wonderful gifts and attributes will shine from the reflector. It's an important thing to take solace in the fact that reflectors have that beautiful morphogenetic field that helps them to resist much of the conditioning and places them in a position to be an observer, to sample, but not necessarily take in and be conditioned by others. So here the reflectors can intuit the wisdom within the suffering and help transform that into salvation. Your force field will serve you well, reflectors, and enjoy your health and wealth in a very lunar focused lifestyle. So that is basically in a nutshell what the manifestor and the reflector are all about and how you can interact and support them to create a beautiful community for the common good. My next video will be on projectors. I have had the opportunity to just put projectors in their own video because they have subtypes. They are the only personality type that has subtypes within them. So it's a bit more extensive and it will take a little more time. I hope you join me for that. You can also look back at my other video when we discussed the generator and the manifesting generator so that you can have a full forest bird's eye view of all of the particular personality types. If you're interested in diving even deeper for you as an individual, feel free to contact me. I hope you have a beautiful day and you enjoy being you. Namaste.